the Rancher's Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a little bit different of a video for you. So, months and months ago, I kind of talked about a little bit on my Instagram about how I healed my lifelong acne with food and how I attacked it from the inside out. And I got a lot of response from that and a lot of people wanting to know my journey and what I use, skincares that I use, makeup that I use, and just how I did it in general. And so I said I would share it, and it's kind of long for an Instagram post, and so I thought I'd do it here on YouTube. Hopefully it'll help somebody else. So backstory for just a quick minute is that my middle daughter suffered from extreme eczema 6 or 7 years ago, and it didn't come on until I gave her gluten, and I have celiac disease. I assumed my daughters have it as well because all three of them cannot tolerate gluten, and and so we have kept them gluten-free until they're about 3 or 4, and then we introduced it very, very slowly. She had 0 symptoms except for eczema that came on, and I didn't correlate the two until about 4 or 5 months in. Long story short, it became very intense all over her body, and I went on this gut healing journey of learning that eczema starts within, and it's your body's reaction to your guts not being right. And once I found that, then we went on this huge journey of changing the way I cook, changing the way I feed my family, getting processed foods out, and all of that. So that's what started with my eczema. Since I hit puberty, the women in my family have always struggled with acne, and it's gone on forever. I've always struggled with acne until now, and I never really correlated the two until with the inside of my body to acne until about 3 years ago when we moved cross country out here to Missouri. I had the biggest breakout I've ever had in my life. Now, I know some of that had to do with stress. I just had the biggest life change. Also, what I didn't factor in is how our eating had changed. So when we moved out here, there was a lot of processed foods that we ate. There was a lot of going and running and getting a quick meal, things like that, because we made the biggest move of our life and we moved across country. My skin suffered, and it wasn't until I heard someone say acne starts within that it connected the two. Anything skin related typically starts within. Until I started healing from the inside out did I not conquer my acne. Now, I will still get a pimple here and there, usually around the time of my month. I know it has to do with hormones as well, but a lot of times when I have any form of a pimple or something come up, it's because of the way I'm eating or the way my life is going. So if I'm stressed out, if we're super busy, if I'm not getting adequate sleep, all of those things play into why acne comes on. And so once I started diving deep into that, it all changed. And I am going to share with you how I made those changes. When I first heard about acne coming on because of your insides not being healed, I was thinking, how can this be? I cook everything from scratch. I've been on this journey for so long, and there's no way that my guts can be that messed up. And I was kind of like, that's not it. Then I heard that, yes, eating healthy is so important. That is so good. However, there's another factor to it. Focusing specifically on my liver was a game changer. And what I mean by that is when your liver is not right, things are not properly detoxing and coming out of your body. And so other adverse problems are going to happen. And for me, it was acne. So yes, we were eating good. I was eating, good oils and all of that stuff. I was already doing those things because of our journey with my daughter with eczema. But there was more I could be doing. I really focused on getting probiotic foods into my diet. So I was starting to ferment a lot more, make sourdough more, gluten-free sourdough. I was switched to raw dairy instead of dairy from the store, which there is some concerns out there on that. But for me, raw dairy has really helped with my skin. I switched to really focusing on my liver and the foods that work for my liver. One of those foods is beef liver. So when I started getting beef liver into my diet, then I was able to start seeing some real changes. And how I did that was, first I started eating it. We butcher our own cows here, so I was able to have beef liver right away. However, I didn't like it all of the time. I didn't mind the flavor, I didn't mind the taste, the texture, any of that. I know some people have a problem with that. I didn't mind it, but getting it into my diet a couple times a week, I just kind of got sick of it. So how I'm able to do that now, and I'll link it in the description, is I dehydrate all my beef liver, turn it into a powder, and I put it into smoothies. You can't taste it, and I'm getting it into my diet. I also can sprinkle that into foods. You can't taste it, and it's just fine with soups and stuff like that. So there's ways to get it in. You can also put them into capsules and take them as capsules. I choose to put the powder directly into my food because then my body doesn't have to break down that capsule, but that's another option for you there. But getting beef liver into my diet was a game changer for my skin. So probiotic foods, beef liver, raw dairy, sticking with good oils, not any kind of seed oil or any kind of processed oil. So I really focused on avocado oil and olive oil as the only ways that I cooked. And then really staying away from anything processed. As I was healing from the inside out, I started seeing changes. Now, you're not going to see changes just like with my daughter with eczema immediately. Actually, you're going to see it get worse. And that's very disheartening because when you're starting to go on this journey, you start thinking, okay, I'm going to do this and it's all going to get better. It doesn't. It gets worse before it gets better. So I actually ended up getting breakouts all over my forehead, which typically wasn't a breakout spot for me, but I was getting these little bumps all over. And it was just my body detoxing all the final things that were inside that I had no idea that were actually in there. Once I got through that part of it, it started to get better from there. Now, there are a few things that I did do right off the get-go, and I'm not sure I highly recommend it, but it is something to be conscious of, is I removed all sugar. And I'm talking all sugar. I read the labels of everything. I kind of went a little crazy on that. I felt the best I've ever felt without having zero sugar because sugar is in everything. Sugar is an inflammatory food. So the link between being inflamed and having acne is pretty high. So I wanted to get rid of anything that was making me inflamed. Now, I didn't consider myself a sugar addict. I hardly cooked with sugar. I mean, I used a lot of healthier sugars to begin with, but I did not realize how much sugar is in everything. I mean, even in spice blends from the store, sugar is typically put in. If you start reading the backs of labels of things, sugar's in everything. And so when I really started looking into those and reading labels and taking the sugar out, that helped a ton as well. Like I said, I felt the best I ever felt, but I really went overboard on that. And I'm not sure I highly recommend doing that, but minimizing that sugar is a good thing. The other thing is switching to a evaporated cane sugar juice, which is sugar in its rawest form. So I don't believe that is very bad for you. It's still going to be an inflammatory food, but it's not going to be super refined. It's not going to be super processed. It basically is evaporated juice from the cane sugar plant, and then it crystallizes it and stops it at that point. So I would recommend switching to that, and then eating in moderation. Now let's get clear here. Anything overdone is not good for you, no matter if it's the best food in the world. So everything should be in moderation. Building that whole plate of food with your proteins and a little bit of carbs and your leafy greens and all of those things, those are so important. Not just doing one food group over the other, eliminating a food group, all of those things are not good for your body. Your body needs a vast variety of things. And so when I started really diving into my food that way, healing my liver, making sure that I was putting good things into my diet, I started seeing some noticeable change. It took roughly around 8 months for this change to actually be noticed. The first part was actually worse, and then I started seeing some noticeable change. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the skincare that I changed. So about 8 months in, everything was going well, but I knew I needed to make a change in the products I was using as well. So I've always been very conscious about what I'm putting on my skin and all of that stuff. However, I knew that there could be some changes in that. And so I researched a lot of things. I tried many products in terms of skincare, how I was going to cleanse my face. And what I settled on was Dime Skincare. I love their ingredients in the Dime Skincare, and it's a simple 3-step process that I use. So the cleanser is a creamy foam cleanser. They come in these nice black glass bottles. Everything on their website, you can see their product and then you can see their list of ingredients, and you can read what they are. Very good, clean ingredients. I'm very happy with what's in them. So I start with a foam cleanser. Then I have this acne toning serum, and then a probiotic gel cream. And those are the 3 things that I use. It's super simple. And I am able to do these 3, and my skin reacted very nicely to it. Now, anytime you change any form of skincare, expect a little getting used to period. There is kind of a detox period in that. Sometimes not. I didn't actually see, I think because my diet was so clean, I didn't see any kind of adverse reaction. It only improved right away. But now I have been very happy. It's been well over 6 months, maybe even a year using it. These 3 things are no expensive than some of the high dollar stuff, and they last me about 3 months. So they do last a long time. They don't seem like very big, but they do last quite a long ways. I also got this acne spot treatment I use from Dime. It doesn't come in the set, but if I see something coming on, I usually will put some on. Again, very clean ingredients, and I like it very much. And then in terms of makeup, so I've actually just started using it, but I like the Merit brand. I love the clean ingredients. It's super easy to use, and they don't clog my pores. So everything, I just use I'm very simple on the makeup, but I use their concealer around my face. I use their little brush to spread it all around. I use this as their blush, and then their mascara. And I really like all of their products. I haven't tried their eyeshadow yet. I'm not a big eyeshadow person. I do wear it sometimes, but it's not an everyday thing for me. But this is like typically my everyday wear. Just super easy, takes me less than 10 minutes to put on. Very lightweight. I don't feel itchy on my skin, and I really like it. So there you have it. That is how I healed my acne from the inside out. In my opinion, food is medicine. Food is the only way to completely heal your body with any ailment, and it's no different for acne. So if you are someone like me who has struggled with acne your whole life, I would highly recommend trying to heal from the inside out and not just topically. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope that you learned something new and just kind of the different foods that I eat and the different things that I do and how I helped cure my acne from the inside out. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. I send out 1 new video every single week. Jump on over to the blog, it's in the description, and join our email community. I send out 1 email a week there with recipes, farm life, ranch life, canning, all of the things that I do around here on the homestead, and we will see you next time. Take care.